Have you ever felt weighed down by negative thoughts that just won't seem to leave your mind? Or maybe you've been overwhelmed by stress, anger, or sadness that seems to linger long after the moment has passed. Does it ever feel like there's an invisible cloud of bad energy hanging over you, affecting your day-to-day life? What if there was a way to clear that cloud? To transform that negative energy into peace, clarity, and happiness? It may sound like a distant dream, but in today's video, we'll explore how you can actually remove bad energy from your mind and make space for more positive, peaceful thoughts. Let's take a simple example. Imagine waking up one morning feeling calm, centered, and truly at peace with yourself. You start your day with clear intentions, free from the heavy weight of negative emotions. How different would that be from the usual rush of stress or anxious thoughts that can so easily take over? Welcome to Wisdom Woven, a place where we dive deep into simple yet transformative wisdom to help you live your best life. In this video, we're going to unlock some powerful practices to remove bad energy from your mind, using teachings that are both ancient and timeless. But before we go any further, let me remind you, there are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% of people subscribe. So please, like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to drop your thoughts in the comments below. We love hearing from you. By the end of this video, you'll have practical tools to start clearing out negativity and filling your mind with peace and positivity. It won't be an overnight transformation, but every step you take will bring you closer to a mind that is calm, focused, and in harmony with your surroundings. So, let's get started and dive into the wisdom that can help change your life. Stay tuned and keep watching. This journey is one worth taking. Understanding bad energy and its impact. We all experience moments when the world seems heavy, like a burden that we can't quite shake off. Bad energy is often the cause of this weight. But what exactly is bad energy? It's not something you can see, touch, or measure, but its effects are real and powerful. It's the anxiety you feel when you're overthinking, the frustration that rises when things don't go as planned, or the sadness that lingers after an argument. Bad energy manifests in countless ways, and understanding its presence is the first step to removing it from your life. Bad energy is essentially negative emotions or thoughts that cloud our minds. These emotions often arise from stress, fear, anger, or even past trauma. Over time, when we don't address these negative feelings, they can accumulate like clutter in a room. The more we accumulate, the more chaotic and heavy our mental state becomes. This accumulated bad energy impacts our behavior, relationships, and even our health. It can drain our energy, leaving us feeling exhausted, irritable, or disconnected from the people around us. Think about it for a moment. Have you ever woken up with a feeling of dread, a tightness in your chest, or a mind that races with worries? This is a clear sign that bad energy is influencing your day. It's not just the big events that cause this. Even small, seemingly insignificant experiences can lead to an accumulation of negative energy. The way you react to challenges, the way you perceive your surroundings, all of these things contribute to the overall state of your mind. Now, think about the effect bad energy has on your body. Negative thoughts are not just mental. They have physical consequences as well. Have you ever noticed how stress or anger can manifest in your body? Perhaps it's a headache, muscle tension, or an upset stomach. When bad energy takes over, it creates a disconnect between your mind and body, leading to physical discomfort. It's like carrying a heavy load that weighs you down, both mentally and physically. One of the most destructive aspects of bad energy is its ability to affect our relationships. When we're filled with anger or frustration, it becomes difficult to communicate clearly with others. Our negative emotions may cause us to lash out, withdraw, or even misunderstand the intentions of those around us. The more we allow these negative emotions to govern our behavior, the more we push people away, creating a cycle of isolation and emotional distance. It's not just our relationships with others that suffer. Our relationship with ourselves also deteriorates. When negative energy takes root, it's easy to fall into patterns of self-criticism and doubt. We start to question our worth, second-guess our decisions, and believe that we're not capable of overcoming challenges. This self-sabotaging mindset only fuels the bad energy, trapping us in a vicious cycle of negativity. But there is hope. The first step in removing bad energy from your mind is acknowledging its presence. Without awareness, it's impossible to change. Just as we keep our physical spaces clean and organized, we must also take care of the mental and emotional space within us. In Buddhism, there is a concept called dukkha, which refers to the suffering or dissatisfaction that arises from attachment, craving, and ignorance. Dukkha is closely related to bad energy because it highlights how our attachment to negative emotions and thoughts causes us unnecessary pain. The Buddha taught that suffering is not caused by external circumstances, but by our internal reactions to those circumstances. This means that our own minds are the source of much of the bad energy we experience. The good news is that we have the power to change our relationship with our thoughts. We don't need to be at the mercy of our emotions and negative thought patterns. By becoming aware of the energy we carry, we can begin to let go of the negative forces that weigh us down and invite peace and clarity into our lives. So, how does bad energy get in the way of our peace of mind? It's simple. Bad energy clouds our judgment, makes us reactive, and keeps us trapped in negative cycles. Instead of seeing things clearly, we're clouded by our biases, fears, and unresolved issues. For instance, when we're stressed or anxious, we might overreact to small problems, blowing them out of proportion. This creates unnecessary tension and drains our mental energy. Bad energy can also distort our sense of perspective. Have you ever noticed how things seem worse when you're in a negative mindset? A minor inconvenience can feel like a major disaster. This is because our minds, when filled with bad energy, tend to exaggerate problems. We lose sight of the bigger picture, and small frustrations feel like insurmountable obstacles. Another way bad energy affects us is by making us stuck in the past or future. We often replay past mistakes, regrets, or negative experiences in our minds, or we worry excessively about what might happen in the future. This constant mental chatter prevents us from being present in the moment. And the present moment is where true peace resides. The past and future are not within our control, but the present is. When we allow bad energy to occupy our thoughts, we miss out on the beauty and serenity of the present moment. So, how do we begin to release this bad energy? The answer lies in understanding that the root of all this negativity is our attachment to our thoughts and emotions. In Buddhism, the concept of attachment is central to understanding suffering. We cling to our thoughts, ideas, and emotions as if they define us, when in reality, they are temporary and ever-changing. By learning to detach from our negative thoughts and emotions, we can free ourselves from their hold and begin to cultivate peace and clarity. One of the most powerful tools in Buddhism for releasing bad energy is mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in the moment, without judgment or attachment. It allows us to observe our thoughts and feelings without getting caught up in them. Instead of reacting automatically to a negative thought or emotion, mindfulness gives us the space to choose how we respond. Through mindfulness, we can recognize when bad energy is taking hold of us and make the conscious decision to let it go. This doesn't mean ignoring or suppressing our feelings. It means acknowledging them without allowing them to control us. By observing our thoughts with a sense of curiosity and acceptance, we can begin to understand the root causes of our negative emotions and work through them with compassion and patience. In the following parts, we'll dive deeper into how specific Buddhist teachings and practices can help us clear out bad energy and bring more peace into our lives. But for now, take a moment to reflect on your own experiences with bad energy. Can you identify the moments when it's taken hold of you? And more importantly, are you ready to begin the journey of releasing it and embracing a more peaceful state of mind? Bad energy may be a part of life, but it doesn't have to control us. With awareness, practice, and patience, we can transform our minds and free ourselves from the negative influences that hold us back. The path to inner peace is within your reach, and it all starts with understanding the energy you carry in your mind. Buddhist perspective on mental purification. In Buddhism, the mind is like a garden. Just like any garden, it can be filled with beautiful flowers, lush plants, and nourishing fruits, but it can also be overtaken by weeds, thorns, and stagnant water. The key to cultivating a peaceful and clear mind lies in understanding how to remove the weeds of negative emotions and thoughts that hinder our growth. According to Buddhist teachings, This purification of the mind is essential for achieving inner peace and spiritual development. At the core of this practice is the understanding of mental defilements. These are the unwholesome qualities of the mind that lead us to suffering. In Buddhism, there are three main defilements, often referred to as the three poisons: greed, hatred, and ignorance. These poisons cloud our judgment, create confusion, and prevent us from seeing the world clearly. They are like the weeds in our garden, constantly growing and spreading unless we actively remove them. Greed, the desire for more. Greed is the desire to hold on to things, to possess, and to constantly seek more. This is not limited to physical possessions, but also emotional attachments. We become attached to ideas, to expectations, to past experiences, and to the future. This attachment causes anxiety, frustration, and dissatisfaction because, in reality, nothing is permanent. For example, think about the desire to accumulate more material things. The constant craving for the latest gadgets or the biggest house can never bring lasting happiness. As soon as we acquire one thing, our desire shifts to something else. It's like trying to fill an empty cup that has no bottom. No matter how much you pour in, it's never full. Hatred, the weight of resentment. Hatred is the opposite of love. It's a destructive force that weighs heavily on the mind. When we hold on to anger, resentment, or ill will towards others, we allow ourselves to be consumed by negativity. This doesn't just hurt the person we are angry with, but it harms us as well. Imagine holding on to a grudge. Every time you think of the person you're angry with, you're feeding that grudge. It's like carrying a heavy stone in your pocket all day. Eventually, the weight becomes too much to bear. The more we hold on to hatred, the more we hurt ourselves. In Buddhism, letting go of anger is not just about forgiving others. It's about freeing ourselves from the burden of that negativity. Ignorance, not understanding reality. Ignorance, in the Buddhist sense, is not simply a lack of knowledge. It's a fundamental misunderstanding of the true nature of reality. We often see the world through a distorted lens, shaped by our desires, fears, and biases. This distorted view causes us to make decisions based on false assumptions, leading to unnecessary suffering. For example, if we believe that happiness comes from external sources like wealth, status, or approval from others, we are bound to be disappointed. These things are impermanent, and their inability to provide lasting happiness is a form of ignorance. When we awaken to the truth that happiness comes from within, we begin to see the world as it truly is, without the filters of desire and fear clouding our perception. The role of meditation and purification. One of the most effective ways to purify the mind is through meditation. Meditation is like the gardener's tool, helping us to clear away the weeds of negative thoughts and emotions. Through regular meditation practice, we learn to observe our thoughts without judgment, letting go of those that are harmful or unnecessary. In meditation, we focus on the breath, the body, or a mantra, which helps to center the mind. As we practice, we begin to notice when thoughts of greed, hatred, or ignorance arise, and instead of acting on them, we simply let them pass by like clouds in the sky. This creates space for more positive, peaceful thoughts to take root. The process of meditation helps us to become more mindful of our thoughts and actions in everyday life. Instead of reacting impulsively to situations, we respond with clarity and calm. We begin to understand that our thoughts are not who we are, but just fleeting patterns in the mind. By letting go of these patterns, we can cultivate a mind that is free from the poisons of greed, hatred, and ignorance. The importance of right view. In Buddhism, right view is the first step on the Noble Eightfold Path. It's about seeing the world as it truly is, without distortion. Right view helps us to understand the impermanence of all things, the law of cause and effect, karma, and the nature of suffering. When we develop right view, we begin to recognize that all things are interconnected. Our actions, thoughts, and words have consequences, not just for ourselves, but for others as well. This understanding helps us to make better choices and to act with compassion and wisdom. Right view also means understanding that suffering is a natural part of life, and that by accepting it, we can begin to let go of our attachment to things that cause us pain. This doesn't mean we become passive or indifferent to life's challenges. Rather, it means we face them with a calm and open mind. knowing that they are temporary and that we have the power to change our response to them. The role of compassion in mental purification. In addition to meditation and right view, compassion is another key element in purifying the mind. Compassion is the ability to empathize with the suffering of others and to wish for their well-being. In Buddhism, compassion is not just about feeling sorry for others. It's about actively wishing them happiness and offering help whenever possible. When we cultivate compassion, we shift our focus from our own suffering to the suffering of others. This helps to reduce feelings of self-centeredness and ego, which are often the root causes of negative emotions. By recognizing the shared nature of human suffering, we develop a sense of connection to others, which naturally leads to greater peace and joy in our own hearts. Cultivating positive mental states. Once we begin to remove the weeds of greed, hatred, and ignorance, we can begin to cultivate positive mental states. Buddhism teaches that there are many wholesome qualities of the mind that we can develop, such as generosity, patience, joy, and equanimity. Generosity is not just about giving material things. It's also about sharing our time, our attention, and our love with others. When we practice generosity, we let go of the attachment to our possessions and open our hearts to the needs of others. Patience is the ability to remain calm in the face of difficulty. It's about accepting the impermanence of life and understanding that things will change, no matter how hard they seem in the moment. Joy arises when we let go of the need for control and allow ourselves to enjoy the present moment, free from the burden of worry or desire. Equanimity is the ability to remain balanced, no matter what happens in life. It's about accepting both the good and the bad without clinging to either one. This state of mental balance allows us to face life's challenges with a sense of inner peace. The path to a clear and peaceful mind. As we apply these teachings in our daily lives, we begin to purify our minds and remove the negative energy that once held us back. The process is gradual, and it requires patience, dedication, and self-compassion. But the rewards are worth the effort. A mind that is free from greed, hatred, and ignorance, and a heart that is filled with love, compassion, and peace. Remember, mental purification is not about striving for perfection. It's about progress. Each step you take on this path brings you closer to a life of inner peace and contentment. Through meditation, mindfulness, and compassion, you can transform your mind and your life, just as a gardener transforms a patch of land into a beautiful, thriving garden. So, as you walk the Buddhist path, remember that the goal is not to escape from life's difficulties, but to face them with a mind that is calm, clear, and compassionate. This is the true essence of mental purification. The role of mindfulness in removing negativity. Mindfulness is one of the most powerful tools for clearing bad energy from our minds. But what exactly is mindfulness, and how does it work in this context? Simply put, mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in the moment, aware of what's happening around you, within you, and to you, without judgment or distraction. It's the art of observing life as it unfolds, without getting lost in negative thoughts or emotional reactions. In today's busy world, our minds are often cluttered with endless thoughts, worries, and distractions. This constant mental noise can create a cloud of negativity, preventing us from enjoying the present moment or achieving inner peace. Mindfulness helps us clear that mental clutter and brings us back to the here and now. It's like taking a breath of fresh air for your mind. Imagine this. You're sitting in a crowded room, filled with noise and activity. But in the midst of it all, you find a quiet space within yourself. Your thoughts become still, your heart becomes calm, and you are fully present, even in the chaos. This is the essence of mindfulness, finding peace in the present moment, no matter the circumstances around you. When we practice mindfulness, we begin to notice our thoughts as they arise, without getting lost in them. Instead of automatically reacting to negative thoughts or emotions, we observe them with a sense of detachment. It's like watching clouds pass by in the sky, acknowledging them without allowing them to dominate our minds. Over time, this practice helps us break free from the cycle of negativity and stress. In Buddhism, mindfulness is a key element of the Noble Eightfold Path, a set of guidelines for living a balanced and enlightened life. The practice of mindfulness is not just about paying attention to what's happening in the world around us. It's also about paying attention to our inner world, the thoughts, feelings, and reactions that arise within us. Through mindfulness, we gain insight into the true nature of our minds, and we begin to see how our thoughts shape our reality. One of the most effective ways to practice mindfulness is through meditation. Meditation provides a structured space where we can cultivate mindfulness and develop a deeper awareness of our thoughts and feelings. By sitting quietly and focusing on our breath, we train our minds to stay in the present moment, gently bringing our attention back whenever it wanders. This practice of focused awareness helps us let go of negative thoughts and mental clutter, leaving us with a sense of clarity and peace. But mindfulness doesn't have to be confined to formal meditation. It can be incorporated into any activity, no matter how simple. Whether you're walking, eating, or washing dishes, you can practice mindfulness by paying full attention to what you're doing. For example, when you're eating, instead of rushing through the meal while thinking about your to-do list, try to savor each bite. Notice the taste, texture, and aroma of your food. Be fully present in the act of eating, without any distractions. This simple practice can bring you back to the present moment and help you appreciate the little things in life. As you begin to integrate mindfulness into your daily life, you'll notice a shift in your mental energy. Negative thoughts will start to lose their power over you. Instead of reacting with anger, frustration, or anxiety, you'll be able to observe your emotions without being consumed by them. This creates space for more positive and peaceful thoughts to arise. Mindfulness also helps us develop a deeper sense of self-awareness. When we're mindful, we can observe our thoughts and behaviors without judgment. This awareness allows us to recognize patterns in our thinking that contribute to negativity, such as self-criticism, fear, or worry. Once we become aware of these patterns, we can begin to change them. Instead of automatically falling into old habits, we can choose to respond with more kindness, patience, and understanding. For example, let's say you're feeling anxious about an upcoming event. In the past, you might have spiraled into negative thinking, imagining worst-case scenarios and getting overwhelmed by fear. But with mindfulness, you can notice these anxious thoughts as they arise and choose not to identify with them. You can acknowledge the anxiety without letting it control you, and instead, you can bring your attention back to your breath, focusing on the present moment. By practicing mindfulness in this way, you begin to disempower the negative energy of anxiety and replace it with a sense of calm and control. One of the most important aspects of mindfulness is non-judgment. Often, we judge ourselves for having negative thoughts or emotions. We may think, "I shouldn't feel this way," or "Why am I so anxious?" These judgments only create more mental noise and fuel our negativity. But when we practice mindfulness, we let go of judgment and simply observe what's happening. We accept ourselves as we are, without trying to change or fix anything. This acceptance creates space for healing and transformation. The power of mindfulness lies in its ability to shift our perspective. Instead of being trapped in our negative thoughts and emotions, we begin to see them as temporary and fleeting. Like clouds in the sky, our negative thoughts will pass, and we don't have to hold on to them. Mindfulness allows us to detach from the stories our minds create and experience life as it is, without the filter of judgment or expectation. Another key benefit of mindfulness is its ability to reduce stress. Stress is often caused by our tendency to dwell on the past or worry about the future. We replay past mistakes in our minds or obsess over what might go wrong in the future. This mental chatter creates tension in our bodies and minds. But when we practice mindfulness, we bring our attention back to the present moment. We let go of the past and the future, focusing only on what's happening right now. This helps us relax and feel more at ease. In addition to reducing stress, mindfulness can improve our overall well-being. Studies have shown that regular mindfulness practice can lead to greater emotional stability, improved focus, and increased feelings of happiness and contentment. It can also help us develop greater empathy and compassion for ourselves and others. When we're mindful, we're more attuned to our own needs and the needs of those around us. This creates a deeper sense of connection and harmony in our relationships. To make mindfulness a part of your life, start with small steps. Begin by setting aside a few minutes each day for mindfulness meditation. Focus on your breath, observing the sensations of the air entering and leaving your body. When your mind wanders, gently bring it back to your breath. Over time, You can increase the duration of your practice and incorporate mindfulness into your daily activities. The more you practice, the easier it will become to stay present and mindful throughout your day. Remember, mindfulness is not about perfection. It's about being present, moment by moment, and cultivating a gentle awareness of what's happening in and around you. Don't worry if your mind wanders, or if you find it difficult to stay focused. This is all part of the process. With patience and persistence, you'll begin to notice the positive effects of mindfulness on your mental and emotional state. Ultimately, mindfulness is about creating a peaceful mind, a mind that is free from the grip of negativity and full of clarity, compassion, and joy. By making mindfulness a regular part of your life, you'll be able to remove the bad energy from your mind and cultivate a sense of inner peace that lasts long after the practice ends. Practices of loving kindness and compassion. As we continue our journey toward removing bad energy from our minds, it's important to remember one powerful practice that has the potential to transform our inner world: loving kindness and compassion. These two qualities, loving kindness, known as metta in Buddhism, and compassion, karuna, are at the heart of Buddhist teachings and have the ability to completely shift how we experience the world and ourselves. Think for a moment. How do we usually respond to difficult situations? Most of us tend to react with frustration, anger, or fear, especially when we're faced with challenging or stressful moments. These reactions stem from negative energy in our minds, and often, they only add more stress and negativity to our lives. But when we practice loving kindness and compassion, we are choosing to break that cycle of negativity. Instead of reacting with harshness or irritation, we learn to respond with understanding, care, and patience. This doesn't mean we ignore our feelings or pretend that everything is fine when it's not. Rather, we approach ourselves and others with a sense of warmth and acceptance, even in the midst of difficult emotions or situations. Let's start with loving kindness. Loving kindness is the practice of wishing well-being, happiness, and peace for ourselves and for others. It's about cultivating a mindset where we actively choose to send positive, loving thoughts to ourselves and to those around us. This may sound simple, but it's incredibly powerful. In Buddhism, we are taught to begin by sending loving kindness to ourselves. This can be one of the most challenging parts of the practice because many of us have a tendency to be harsh or critical toward ourselves. We might think things like, "I'm not good enough," "I don't deserve happiness," or "I'm not worthy of love." But these thoughts are the very things that keep negative energy trapped in our minds. To practice loving kindness toward ourselves, try this. Take a moment to sit quietly, close your eyes, and place your hand over your heart. Take a few deep breaths, allowing yourself to relax. Then, silently repeat these phrases to yourself. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be safe. May I live with ease. These words are not just empty wishes. They are a way to acknowledge your own worth and to offer yourself kindness, even if it feels difficult at first. You may find that the more you say these words, the more your heart opens, and the negative thoughts that once filled your mind begin to soften. Now, once you've practiced sending loving kindness to yourself, it's time to expand that feeling to others. Start with someone you love deeply, a close friend, family member, or even a pet. Imagine them in your mind and repeat the same phrases. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. May you live with ease. As you do this, try to really feel the warmth and compassion in your heart for that person. It's as though you're sending them a gentle, invisible hug that surrounds them with positive energy. With practice, you can even extend loving kindness to people who may be difficult for you to deal with, or those you may not know personally, including strangers or those you might not get along with. The beauty of this practice is that it shifts the focus away from negativity. Instead of dwelling on what's wrong, you're actively choosing to send love, peace, and good intentions out into the world. This is not just a way to improve relationships with others, but also a way to bring peace into your own heart. The more you practice, the more you'll find yourself feeling less stressed and more open to the love and goodness that already exists in the world around you. Compassion, on the other hand, is the natural extension of loving kindness. While loving kindness is about wishing happiness and well-being, compassion goes a step further by allowing us to truly feel the suffering of others and respond with a desire to help alleviate that suffering. In the Buddhist tradition, Compassion is considered one of the highest virtues. It's the deep, heartfelt empathy for others' pain and the genuine wish to help ease their burdens. Compassion doesn't mean that we should take on the suffering of others as our own, or that we have to fix everything. Rather, it's about recognizing the suffering that others experience and responding with care and support. Practicing compassion can be incredibly healing, not only for those who receive it, but also for ourselves. When we act with compassion, we free ourselves from the grip of negative energy because we are no longer consumed by our own fears, insecurities, or anger. Instead, we are focused on others' well-being, which shifts our mindset toward peace and goodwill. One simple way to cultivate compassion is by becoming more aware of others' struggles. Look around you. How often do we ignore the pain or struggles of others, even those close to us? Maybe a colleague at work is going through a tough time, or a friend is dealing with personal issues. Compassion allows us to look beyond our own concerns and acknowledge the pain of others without judgment. To practice compassion, try this exercise. The next time you see someone who seems to be struggling or in pain, pause for a moment. Instead of rushing past them or avoiding the discomfort, take a deep breath and silently send them compassionate thoughts, such as, "I see your suffering, and I wish for you to find peace and healing." This simple act of recognizing another's pain and sending them compassion can create a deep sense of connection and healing, both for you and the other person. It's important to note that compassion is not just about feeling sorry for someone. It's about recognizing their humanity and offering them kindness, even if it's in small, subtle ways. As you continue to practice loving kindness and compassion, you may notice a shift in your perspective. The negative energy that once occupied your mind starts to fade, replaced by a deeper sense of connection to others and a greater sense of inner peace. By sending out love and compassion, you not only help others feel supported, but you also allow yourself to let go of the burdens that have been weighing you down. Remember, these practices are not about perfection. They're about showing up for yourself and for others with an open heart, willing to give and receive love and care without expectations or judgment. The more you practice, the more you'll see that the energy in your mind begins to shift, making space for positivity, peace, and joy. In the end, loving kindness and compassion are not just tools for removing bad energy. They are ways of living. They are a mindset and a way of being in the world that allows us to respond to life's challenges with grace, understanding, and a deep sense of connection to all beings. So, as you go about your day, remember this. Every moment is an opportunity to practice loving kindness and compassion. Every thought, every word, and every action can be infused with love, creating a ripple effect that spreads not only in your own life but throughout the lives of everyone you encounter. Detachment, letting go of negative attachments. In life, we often cling to things that weigh us down. Old grudges, past regrets, negative emotions, and even relationships that no longer serve us. These attachments create mental clutter and prevent us from living in the present moment. We hold on to them as though they are a part of us, but in reality, they are the things that keep us trapped in cycles of suffering. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack every day, filled with stones. Every stone represents something you are holding on to, a past failure, a painful memory, or an unresolved conflict. The longer you carry this burden, the harder it becomes to move forward. But what if you could take off that backpack? What if you could release those stones and walk lighter, freer, and with more energy? That's what detachment allows you to do. Detachment, in the Buddhist sense, does not mean abandoning your responsibilities or relationships, nor does it mean becoming cold or indifferent. It's about loosening your grip on things that no longer serve your well-being. It's about recognizing that your happiness does not depend on external circumstances, people, or objects. True peace comes from within. The Buddha teaches that attachment is one of the root causes of suffering. We become attached to things because we believe they define us or bring us happiness. Yet, all things are impermanent. People, situations, and material possessions come and go. When we attach ourselves too tightly to them, we create unnecessary suffering. When they change or disappear, we feel sadness, anger, or fear. But when we understand the nature of impermanence and learn to detach, we free ourselves from these emotional chains. To practice detachment, it is important to start by observing the things you are holding on to. What are you attached to? Is it a material possession? A certain outcome in your life? A specific person? A way of thinking? Or an old grudge? Recognize that these attachments are not permanent, and they do not have to control your happiness. Detachment begins with awareness. The first step is noticing when you are becoming too attached. Perhaps you feel anxious when you lose your favorite item, or you feel angry when someone disagrees with you. These emotions are signals that you may be holding on too tightly to something external. By becoming aware of these feelings, you can begin to understand that they are temporary and that you do not need to let them control you. One of the most effective tools for practicing detachment is mindfulness. Mindfulness allows you to observe your thoughts and emotions without judgment. When you are mindful, you can notice when you are becoming attached to something and then gently bring yourself back to the present moment. You learn to accept things as they are, without trying to change them or control them. You learn to let go. Take a moment and reflect on something that causes you stress or anxiety. It could be a relationship, an event in your past, or a worry about the future. How does it make you feel when you think about it? Does it consume your thoughts and emotions? Now, imagine that you could let it go, just for a moment. Release the grip it has on you. Let it drift away like a leaf on a stream. In this moment, you are free. Another aspect of detachment is learning to let go of the need for control. Many of us struggle with trying to control every aspect of our lives. Our relationships, our work, our future. We plan, we strive, and we try to make everything go according to our will. But no matter how much we plan or control, life is unpredictable. When we accept that we cannot control everything, we open ourselves to a more peaceful way of living. This doesn't mean you stop making efforts in life. Detachment is not about being passive or inactive. It's about recognizing that you cannot control the outcome of every situation, and that's okay. You can still work hard, pursue your goals, and take action, but without the anxiety of needing things to go exactly as you expect. When you release the need for control, you create space for peace and acceptance. Detachment also means letting go of expectations. Expectations are a form of attachment. When you expect things to turn out a certain way, and they don't, you feel disappointment. When you let go of rigid expectations, you become more flexible and open to the natural flow of life. You learn to appreciate things as they come, without attaching your happiness to specific outcomes. Buddhism teaches us that when we practice detachment, we don't become detached from life itself. Instead, we become more connected to the present moment. We stop living in the past or future and learn to experience life as it is. We let go of what no longer serves us, and we embrace what brings us joy, peace, and harmony. In relationships, detachment is particularly important. We may feel attached to people because we believe we need them to feel complete or happy. But true love and connection come from a place of freedom, not attachment. When we are attached to someone, we may try to control them or place unrealistic expectations on them. This creates tension and strain. But when we practice detachment, we allow relationships to grow naturally. We learn to love without clinging and to support others without needing them to fulfill all our desires. Detachment also allows us to cultivate self-compassion. We are often our own harshest critics, clinging to past mistakes and self-judgment. But when we practice detachment from these negative thoughts, we allow ourselves to be free from the burden of self-criticism. We begin to see ourselves with kindness and acceptance, recognizing that we are not defined by our mistakes. Another important lesson in detachment is letting go of the need for validation. Many of us seek approval from others in order to feel worthy. But when we detach from the need for external validation, we learn to trust in our own worth. We realize that our value is not determined by the opinions of others. When we embrace this, we begin to live with more confidence and authenticity. One of the best ways to practice detachment is through meditation. Meditation helps you quiet the mind and observe your thoughts without getting caught up in them. It teaches you to let go of distractions and attachments, allowing you to experience the present moment fully. As you meditate, you may notice thoughts arising, worries, fears, desires, but rather than holding on to them, you simply observe them and let them go. This is the essence of detachment. In Buddhist practice, detachment is closely related to the concept of non-attachment. Non-attachment doesn't mean renouncing everything or living without emotions. It means not letting external things determine your inner peace. When you practice non-attachment, you are free from the emotional ups and downs that come from holding on too tightly to anything in life. Detachment is not a one-time achievement, but an ongoing practice. It requires patience, awareness, and self-compassion. Over time, as you practice detachment, you will notice a shift in your mind. You will begin to feel lighter, more peaceful, and more in tune with the flow of life. You will start to let go of the things that cause you pain and make space for more joy, love, and serenity. So, what are you ready to detach from today? What attachments are holding you back? Take a moment to reflect on what you are clinging to and ask yourself if it is truly serving your happiness and peace. Begin the process of letting go, even if it's just one small thing at a time. As you do, you will discover that the more you release, the more you make room for inner peace, and the more freedom you will find in your life. The power of meditation, transforming the mind. Let us begin with the ancient and profound practice of meditation. In today's fast-paced world, meditation often gets lost among the distractions. But in Buddhism, meditation is not just a practice, it's a way of life. It's the doorway to a mind that is calm, clear, and free from the turbulent storm of negative emotions. Meditation can help transform the mind in ways that seem almost magical, but in reality, it's a deep and natural process of reconnecting with your true self. The mind is like a lake. When it's calm, you can see the clear reflection of the sky. But when it's disturbed by waves, the reflection is blurry. Our daily lives, with all the noise, stress, and distractions, create waves in our minds. Meditation helps to settle these waves, allowing you to see things as they truly are, clear, peaceful, and unclouded by unnecessary thoughts. When you begin meditating, the first thing you'll notice is how chaotic your thoughts are. The mind has been used to constantly jumping from one thought to the next, like a monkey swinging from branch to branch. This is natural. But through meditation, you can slowly train the mind to become still, to sit with your thoughts without being overwhelmed by them. Start with just a few minutes a day. Find a quiet spot where you can sit comfortably. Close your eyes and focus on your breath. Breathe in deeply and exhale slowly. Notice how your body feels as you breathe. Your chest rising and falling, your stomach gently expanding and contracting. At first, your mind will wander. Thoughts will arise, pulling your attention away from your breath. That's okay. This is where the practice begins. Every time your mind wanders, gently bring your focus back to your breath. Don't judge yourself for getting distracted. Just acknowledge the thought, let it go, and return to the simplicity of breathing. Over time, you'll notice that your ability to stay focused increases. Your mind becomes quieter, more peaceful. You begin to feel a sense of calm that wasn't there before. This simple act of mindfulness is incredibly powerful. As you practice, the benefits become more apparent. The usual waves of anger, frustration, or sadness won't take as long to settle. You'll find that you can let go of negative thoughts much faster. Meditation helps you step out of the constant reactionary cycle of your mind and gives you the space to observe your thoughts without being controlled by them. In Buddhism, meditation is about cultivating right mindfulness, a state of being fully present in each moment. The idea is to be aware of everything that is happening without judgment, whether it's your thoughts, your feelings, or your surroundings. This awareness doesn't mean you're passive. Instead, it means you're actively observing and accepting what's going on in your mind, without trying to push it away or hold on to it. Meditation also nurtures right concentration, which is the ability to focus your attention without distraction. It's not just about being still. It's about being present with complete focus and clarity. This is why, in Buddhist teachings, meditation is often described as a practice that helps you see the world as it truly is. You begin to see your thoughts, your emotions, and your reactions with clarity, and from this place of insight, you can make better choices in your life. A key aspect of meditation is learning to let go. This isn't about suppressing thoughts or emotions. It's about not holding on to them. Negative thoughts and bad energy can often feel like they have a grip on you. But through meditation, you learn to release that grip. You understand that you don't have to hold on to anger, fear, or sadness. These emotions come and go, and you are not defined by them. In the Buddhist tradition, there is a concept known as impermanence. It means that everything in life, including our thoughts and feelings, is constantly changing. Nothing stays the same forever. Just as a cloud passes by in the sky, so too do negative thoughts pass through the mind. The key is to let them pass without clinging to them. This is a core teaching in meditation. As you continue with your practice, you'll notice another benefit: deep relaxation. Meditation allows your body and mind to rest in a way that is different from ordinary sleep. It's a state of profound relaxation where stress and tension dissolve. This is incredibly important, as many of our negative thoughts are born from stress, anxiety, and exhaustion. By taking time each day to meditate, you give your mind the rest it needs to heal and reset. Many people think that meditation requires special skills or abilities, but this isn't true. Meditation is something anyone can do. It's about being gentle with yourself and allowing the process to unfold naturally. You don't need to be a monk or a guru to experience the benefits of meditation. All it takes is the willingness to sit quietly and listen to your breath, to observe your thoughts without judgment, and to allow your mind the space it needs to find peace. The more you meditate, the more you'll notice a shift in your overall mindset. You'll begin to approach life with greater patience and understanding. Your reactions to situations will become more balanced, and you'll find that you're less affected by external circumstances. This is because meditation helps you cultivate inner strength, helping you stay grounded no matter what is happening around you. Another powerful benefit of meditation is its effect on your emotional well-being. By cultivating mindfulness and concentration, you begin to see your emotions as they arise. Instead of reacting automatically to negative feelings, you become aware of them. You can choose how to respond, rather than simply reacting out of habit. This leads to a greater sense of emotional control and resilience. In the Buddhist tradition, meditation is often paired with compassion. As you meditate and become more aware of your own mind, you develop greater empathy for others. You see that all beings experience suffering in their own way. This awareness naturally leads to kindness and compassion, two of the most important virtues in Buddhism. When you meditate regularly, you start to see the interconnectedness of all beings, and this fosters a deep sense of love and care for others. It's important to remember that meditation is not about perfection. It's not about making your mind empty or achieving a specific state of peace. It's about showing up each day, being present with whatever is happening in your mind, and allowing yourself the time and space to relax. Even if you meditate for just 5 or 10 minutes a day, you'll begin to notice the changes in your life. The more you practice, the deeper your connection to inner peace will become. The power of meditation is not limited to your time on the cushion. As you continue to meditate, you'll begin to notice how it affects your everyday life. You may find that you are more patient with others, more mindful of your actions, and less likely to be swept away by negative emotions. This is because meditation has a lasting impact on your entire being, mind, body, and spirit. In summary, meditation is a powerful tool for removing bad energy from your mind. It helps you clear away the clutter of negative thoughts, quiets the storm of emotions, and brings you back to a place of calm and clarity. By practicing meditation regularly, you will transform your mind, your emotions, and your life. So, find a quiet space, sit comfortably, and begin your meditation journey. Your peaceful mind is waiting for you. Karma and positive energy cultivation. Let's start by understanding what karma is. In the simplest terms, karma is the principle of cause and effect. It teaches us that every action we take, whether it's in thought, word, or deed, creates an energy that comes back to us in some form. This energy can be positive or negative, depending on what kind of actions we put out into the world. Think of karma like planting seeds in a garden. If you plant seeds of kindness, compassion, and love, your garden will grow full of those same qualities. But if you plant seeds of anger, hate, or greed, those seeds will grow into a garden of negativity, attracting more of the same into your life. In essence, the energy we put into the world is the energy that we receive back. It's a simple yet profound law of the universe. In Buddhism, karma is not just about good or bad deeds, but about cultivating good intentions and positive energy. Every time we act with a pure heart, we are creating positive karma. And the more positive karma we create, the more positive energy we attract into our lives. It's not about being perfect. It's about being mindful of our actions and striving to do good in the world. But how does this connect with removing bad energy from your mind? The answer is simple. When we focus on creating positive karma, we naturally begin to clear out the negative energy that clings to us. The more we live with positive intentions, the less room there is for negativity to take root in our minds. By living with kindness, compassion, and generosity, we create a mental environment that is fertile for peace and happiness. Take a moment to think about the actions you've taken today or in the past week. Have they been driven by positive intentions? Have you been kind to others? Have you acted out of love or out of fear or anger? These are the seeds you've planted. If you've planted seeds of kindness, you're likely to feel a sense of peace and fulfillment. But if your actions have been driven by negative emotions, you may feel restless or unhappy as the energy from those actions begins to shape your mind. Now, here's the good news. It's never too late to start planting new seeds. No matter what's happened in the past, you can begin today to create positive karma that will transform your energy. Start small. A smile to a stranger. A kind word to a friend. A compassionate thought towards someone who may have wronged you. These small actions will begin to create ripples of positive energy in your life. And over time, you'll notice that this energy starts to clear away the bad energy that may have built up. One powerful way to cultivate positive karma is through the practice of generosity. Generosity isn't just about giving material things, it's about giving your time, your attention, and your compassion. When you give without expecting anything in return, you are planting the seeds of positive karma. This act of giving opens your heart and clears your mind, allowing space for positivity to grow. Another essential aspect of cultivating positive energy is forgiveness. Holding on to grudges or anger only ties us to negative karma, which keeps bad energy in our minds. Forgiveness doesn't mean that we condone hurtful actions, but it means we release ourselves from the burden of anger and resentment. When we forgive, we free our minds from the negative energy associated with past wrongs. And in doing so, we make room for peace, understanding, and love. The practice of gratitude is also deeply connected to karma. When we focus on what we're grateful for, we shift our energy from negativity to positivity. Gratitude helps us acknowledge the goodness in our lives, no matter how small. It trains our minds to look for the positive rather than dwell on the negative. And when we live in a state of gratitude, we attract more things to be grateful for. It's a simple but powerful practice that aligns perfectly with the law of karma. As we begin to cultivate positive karma, we may notice that our relationships start to improve. People around us respond differently when we act with kindness and generosity. We begin to attract more supportive and loving individuals into our lives, and the negative people or situations that once drained our energy start to fade away. This is the result of our positive actions creating a ripple effect in the world around us. But there's another important aspect of karma that's worth mentioning: the concept of intention. In Buddhism, intention is everything. It's not enough to just perform good deeds. Our intentions behind those deeds matter as well. If we act out of a desire for recognition or praise, our actions may not generate positive karma. But if our actions are motivated by genuine compassion, love, and a desire to help others, the karma we create is truly positive. This brings us to the practice of mindfulness. Mindfulness helps us become aware of our intentions and the energy we're putting out into the world. By being mindful of our thoughts, words, and actions, we can ensure that we're aligning ourselves with positive energy. And when we do this consistently, we start to see the world around us change in ways that reflect the positive energy we've cultivated within. It's important to remember that karma isn't about perfection. We're all human, and we all make mistakes. But what matters is the effort we put into living with good intentions. Every time we act with kindness, even if it's just a small gesture, we are planting seeds of positive karma. And over time, those seeds will grow into a beautiful garden of peace, happiness, and positive energy. So, if you want to clear bad energy from your mind and bring more positivity into your life, start by focusing on your actions and intentions. Be mindful of the energy you're putting out into the world. Practice kindness, forgiveness, generosity, and gratitude. And remember, Even the smallest positive action can create ripples of good karma that will transform your life and the world around you. In doing so, you'll find that your mind becomes a place of peace and clarity. The negative energy that once clouded your thoughts will begin to dissipate, replaced by the light and warmth of positive energy. And as you continue to cultivate this positive energy, you'll notice that it not only transforms your own mind, but also has a profound impact on the people and situations around you. This is the power of karma, the power of creating positive energy that comes back to you in ways you never imagined. It's the key to removing bad energy from your mind and creating a life that is full of peace, happiness, and abundance. So, start today. Plant the seeds of positive karma and watch as your life transforms before your eyes. Conclusion: embracing the journey of mental clarity. As we come to the end of our journey today, let's take a deep breath and reflect on all that we've learned. Removing bad energy from your mind is not just a one-time task. It's a journey that requires patience, practice, and most importantly, self-compassion. Through the wisdom of Buddhism, we've unlocked many tools that can help you create a life filled with peace, balance, and harmony. But remember, this is not about perfection. It's about progress. There may still be days when negative thoughts and emotions creep into your mind. That's okay. It's part of being human. The key is not to let those moments define you. Instead, we embrace them with understanding, and slowly but surely, we learn to let go. Throughout this video, we've explored many ideas and practices that can help you stay grounded. Meditation, mindfulness, loving kindness, detachment, and karma are just a few of the steps that will guide you along the way. But they are not separate actions. They are all connected, flowing together in a way that helps transform your mind from one filled with bad energy into a mind that is clear, calm, and positive. Let's take a moment to review these powerful tools. Meditation allows you to center your mind, to find quiet in the chaos. With regular practice, you can bring your attention back to the present moment, letting go of the past and future that cause unnecessary stress. Mindfulness is the ability to be aware of your thoughts, emotions, and actions without judgment. By becoming more aware, you can choose not to react negatively, but instead respond with calmness and clarity. Loving kindness, or metta, is a beautiful practice that encourages you to treat yourself and others with compassion and understanding. By radiating kindness, you can dissolve anger, resentment, and fear, replacing them with love and goodwill. Detachment, as we discussed, means letting go of attachments that only weigh you down. It's not about withdrawing from life. It's about learning not to be controlled by your desires or the things you think you need to be happy. Karma, the law of cause and effect, teaches us that the energy we put out into the world comes back to us. By living with integrity and kindness, you create positive energy that returns to you in ways you might not expect. Remember, when you remove bad energy from your own mind, you are also contributing to a more peaceful and harmonious world. This is not just about improving your own life. It's about improving the world around you. There's also the Eightfold Path, which serves as a guide for living a balanced and ethical life. Right understanding, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration are the pillars that help us stay on the path to mental clarity. When we live according to these principles, we find a natural rhythm that brings peace to our hearts and minds. And don't forget gratitude. In Buddhism, gratitude is not just an occasional practice, it's a way of life. By being grateful for what you have, you shift your focus from what is lacking to what is abundant in your life. Gratitude allows you to release feelings of resentment, jealousy, and dissatisfaction, replacing them with contentment and joy. In your daily life, take small steps to keep these practices alive. You don't need to dedicate hours every day to meditation or mindfulness. Even a few minutes of quiet reflection in the morning can set a positive tone for your day. When challenges arise, pause and remember the tools you've learned. A few deep breaths, a moment of compassion for yourself, and a shift in perspective can change the course of your thoughts and actions. But here's something truly important to remember. This is a journey. There will be times when you feel frustrated, when the bad energy seems to overwhelm you again. In those moments, remind yourself that growth isn't linear. Sometimes, taking one small step backward is just as important as taking a step forward. Each experience, whether it feels positive or negative, is an opportunity to learn and grow. If you felt the transformation today, know that you are already on the right path. Embrace this process with patience. Trust that every moment you spend practicing these teachings is a moment closer to inner peace. It's not about being perfect, it's about being present. As you continue on this path, you'll discover that the mind becomes clearer with time. What once seemed like a constant storm of thoughts and emotions will slowly give way to a more peaceful and balanced state of being. The bad energy that once took up so much space in your mind will gradually dissipate, replaced by calmness, positivity, and clarity. There's a beautiful saying in Buddhism: the mind is everything. What you think, you become. This is a powerful reminder that the way we choose to think shapes our reality. By clearing away the bad energy, we make space for a more positive and fulfilling life. And it all starts with the mind. But remember, no matter where you are on this journey, you are exactly where you need to be. It's okay if you don't have all the answers right now. What matters is that you keep moving forward, even if just one step at a time. The road to mental clarity is not always easy, but it is always worth it. So, as we wrap up this video, I encourage you to carry these teachings with you every day. Practice them, reflect on them, and let them guide you toward a life of peace, balance, and joy. And above all, be kind to yourself as you continue to clear the mental clutter and embrace the calm that awaits you. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If this video resonated with you, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Wisdom Woven. And remember, your thoughts and insights matter, so please drop them in the comments below. I look forward to hearing your reflections and continuing this path of wisdom together. May your mind be clear, your heart be light, and your life be filled with peace. Keep walking the path, and I wish you all the best in your journey towards mental clarity and happiness.